People who choose to be kind every day despite of not receiving the same kindness back. What motivates you? Because I could be the other person. Today you, tomorrow me. I adore this story, sort of in the same energy. Wherever people make a big deal out of help, I always say, well, I trust you'd do the same for me. I had someone reply with, no I wouldn't, I'm a dick, and just said, well, maybe this was meant to let you reevaluate that. I kinda wonder if they did. We didn't know each other very well. I once bought a gift card and a jug of water and some fruit for a person panhandling outside of a grocery store. It really wasn't a huge deal, but the dude who was parked right next to the guy and ignoring him the whole time said, that was really nice of you. I just responded that the guy was a part of our community and everyone needs compassion. Life is hard. I remember when I was a child and my mum and brother and I only ate dinner because of a kind stranger who showed us that same compassion. I only hope I helped a man eat a yummy dinner and gave him the same feeling of value that stranger gave me so many years ago. It reminds me of the story about someone helping out a random person asking for money and being told, you know, it's a scam, he's going to use it on drugs. Their response was, well, that speaks to their character. This speaks to mine. Paraphrasing, but I think about that a lot. I just do it 'cause why not? Let me tell you of a story. There once was a king who wanted a pond of milk. He told every single resident must give 1 cup of milk in the hole. Back then there weren't street lights or anything, so one person decided, I'll get a glass of water instead. Nobody will notice. The next morning, the king checked on his pond. It was made of water. Everyone decided to do the same. That shows that if you don't do something you don't want to do, then nobody will do it. I'm kind because I am kind, not because other people are. Yup, this one for me. I just literally don't have it in me to be mean or rude. It's not who I am. That said, I have gone on a few rants at people who have treated me badly, alone, in my car. I was trying to rack my brain for a good answer until I saw this comment and I couldn't agree more. I was raised to be kind and I continue it on my own accord because I want to, not because I'm going to get something in return. It's my nightmare. I have intentionally, or unintentionally, caused someone to have a worse day, so I make sure that I'm courteous and friendly to everyone. And yes, on Reddit too, even you knuckleheads who get sassy in modmail lol. TBH, for me it takes a lot of effort to be an ass. No, like it's so tiring to be a dick, like I'll get angry at something for a moment and before I know what's happening the wind has already left my sails and I can't be fucked anymore. Right? Kindness is the easiest route. You won't get caught up in drama, you avoid fights, people are more apt to help you etc. Edit. I'm a naturally meek person. I'd been bullied pretty badly in the past. My coping mechanism was always to smile through it and be kind to whoever was mean to me. It throws them off and makes it harder for them to continue being mean. I know it's really difficult to show kindness to people who treat you awful, but it's often the best way to get people to start treating you with respect. Fighting back. I'm not especially strong or educated. I'm not particularly well off and I know I can get carried away and come off as annoying sometimes, so if I can't be strong or smart, socially adept or successful, I can definitely be kind. When I was young, I used to admire intelligent people. As I grow older, I admire kind people. Abraham Joshua Heschel. I slowly come to view the kind people as the actual intelligent ones, as kindness begets homeostasis amongst us all. Took a while for my POV to swing that way, but I see it now. Yay. Smart people are all over the place, they are a dime a dozen. Truly nice people are much rarer to find. Not everyone can be the next Albert Einstein or Carl Sagan, but we can all try to be like Mr. Rogers or Bob Ross. Maybe not as well known, but we have the potential to touch the lives around us for the better. Reminds me of a quote from the fantastic movie Harvey with James Stewart. Years ago my mother used to say to me, she'd say, in this world, Elwood, you must be. She always called me Elwood. In this world, Elwood, you must be oh so smart or oh so pleasant. Well, for years I was smart. I recommend pleasant. You may quote me. I don't expect people to be kind back. I do it because it's the right thing, not because I am hoping for any return. People doing nice things because they expect something in return aren't actually good people. Exactly, kindness should be shown because it's the right thing to do. There's already enough hatred in the world, why add more, right? It might be because of the stories we're told as a kid, where every kindness is paid back, which leads people to have unrealistic expectations. In reality, there is no way to prove this belief. and the only sure reward is knowing you and adding to the cruelty in their lives, and are making it easier for someone to get through this shithole of a world, might seem stupid and naive in the beginning, but knowing that you made someone else happy is probably the best kind of happiness. That, and paying it forward, is a very real thing. It may not happen 100% of the time, but a lot of people get inspired by a random act of kindness and feel the need to return the favor to someone else. I personally set a goal to perform one random act of kindness every month, whether it's mowing an elderly neighbor's grass for free, buying an extra burger or two and handing them out to the homeless, or pausing my commute to pull over and help someone that's having car trouble, or anything in between. I'm often offered payment, but I simply refuse the money and ask that, if they find someone struggling and they are in a position to help, to do what they can for them. Honestly, I'd say this is my biggest motivator. At the end of the day, every life is precious and everyone deserves to experience that life with happiness and contentment. We must also remember that this life is short and fragile, and the day it ends will be the day you cease to write your own story, and instead leave your memory in the hands of your fellow man. We must remember how we want that story to be told, and live each day like it may end at any moment. I, personally, would like my story to inspire others to be kind and gentle human beings. I try to embody this mindset so much. Being a dwarf, I get a lot of shit from people, shouting on the street, pointing, people filming me and taking photos of me, asking me invasive questions, generally making rude statements about me or expressing weird assumptions. It gets tiring and sometimes downright upsetting, for sure, but I never want to let that feed into how I interact with people in general. As soon as I'm addicted to someone preemptively, without cause, I have just ruined an opportunity to have a positive new connection in my life. People can and will often surprise you, and even people who may seem ignorant or rude at first can change dramatically if I don't just shut them down from the offset. There is a line, of course. If someone is a complete unapologetic ass, fuck them. I'm not against standing up for myself, and I have had to cut ties with people before, but in milder situations, people have the capacity to change, and it's kind of wasted potential to not encourage that, whether it is through empathy or kindness. I used to let all of this get to me. I would be so angry and miserable every day. I hated everyone, but eventually, I realized that empathizing with people is a win for both parties. Understanding where a person is coming from, not excusing it, but understanding it, made me less angry, and in turn allowed for them to not get defensive or aggressive like they would if they were just pegged as a monster. Eventually, empathy just became easier. It made me happier, and it took less of a toll on my mindset. Sorry if this is a stupid question, but did Peter Dinklage becoming a favorite character in Game of Thrones make things better or worse? It seemed like the first time that a wow factor had top billing in a prestige TV. Again, sorry if that's a stupid question. Overall, definitely better. I got sick of the Tyrion references 8 years ago, but that's really the only negative, and the references are still so much better than the Oompa Loompa and Mini-Me references. I think the best part is how much it normalized us being sexual beings in a non-perverted, fetishized way. We're just people. The last time I saw you on Reddit I said the same thing, but damn, I really never thought about this. I guess it goes to show how helpful positive representation in media can be. You seem a really wise guy. 10/10 would hang and dialogue over beers and bonfire. Just got finished saying they were annoyed by the Tyrion references, and you go and assume that they drink and they know things. Yeah, that was totally what I was implying. I'm pretty funny like that. Upside down face. Seriously though, nice catch. I just think you shouldn't make anyone else's life harder than it already is. Edit. I've been on Reddit 9 years and I've never had this much of a reaction to one of my comments. Thanks, y'all. To clarify, I am not a saint. There are exceptions, and my kindness does have limits. However, I usually try very hard to be nice to people because life sucks sometimes. When another person makes you suffer, it is because he suffers deeply within himself, and his suffering is spilling over. He does not need punishment, he needs help. That's the message he is sending. Thich Nhat Hanh. This monk has changed my mindset so much over the years, especially his take on death. His metaphor is a cloud. Same here. Closest thing to a true living legend we have today. Got the opportunity by chance to join him in walking meditation. He was in a wheelchair a couple years ago and I was moved to tears. That man has helped me so much over the years. Any suggestions on works of his to have a crack at? The Miracle of Mindfulness is where I got my start, although I've loved everything of his I've been able to read. Seconding this one, his thoughts on being present, when you're washing the dishes, just wash the dishes, have been life-changing for me. Life-changing seems like such a trite and overused phrase, but that truly fits here. I'm grateful that man exists. What's his thought on washing the dishes? It very much sounds like a book I need to read right now, but I'm curious at this point you're explaining. He says that whatever you are doing should have your full attention. If you are helping your kid with their homework, then be present and focus on that. Don't hold in mind a desire to watch TV or a problem from work you are addressing. Just focus on helping with homework. If you are washing the dishes, try not to allow your mind to wander to something from the past or something about the future that causes worry. You don't live in the future or the past, you live now. So when you are washing the dishes, just wash the dishes only, and it is okay to worry about the future from time to time as long as it is not controlling us, but do so when you have intentionally given yourself time in which to think about things you may encounter in the future. I can't say it nearly as beautifully as he does, and I'm sure I'm missing some valuable points. Definitely check out the book sometime. I was recommended it years ago when I was going through a nasty divorce and was an anxious wreck. The teachings made a world of difference for me. This sounds perfect for my anxiety, thank you. It just never hurts to be nice. You don't know what people go through or how long it's been since someone said something or did nice for someone, so I do my part to reset the clock on that. I remember holding the door for a guy one time when he was like 20 feet behind me, and he was so appreciative that someone did something for him that sounded like he was about to tear up. You just never know, so why not be a good person? I actually just quit my job yesterday because I realized that my managers were being intentionally rude and hurtful towards me and the higher-ups didn't care. One of the days I was just having a hard day, and when my manager came down on me intentionally harder than was necessary, I had a major panic attack. Later that afternoon he admitted he wrote and reread the mean message but decided to hit send anyway because he knew I wouldn't like it. I just realized in that moment I couldn't be in a place that condoned that kind of behavior from employees. Said managers then begged me to stay after I put in my notice. Of course, later that evening I went to the grocery store and saw the same meat counter lady who is always there. She's always so polite and friendly, so because I was having a bad day I asked her, "How are you always just so gracious and friendly? I have never seen you otherwise and I love that I can always expect to see you here with a smile on." She instantly started to tear up and told me what I said meant so much because she was having an absolutely horrible day. I just thought again how much words can matter and felt even more justified leaving my job. You never know what a person is going through, and your attitude and words can make or break someone's day, so why not just be kind? My go-to response to people who are rude to me is, "You seem like you're having a bad day. I hope being rude to me made you feel better about yourself." Usually shuts people down pretty quickly. You sound like a lovely person. I'm so glad you got out of that job. That took real courage. That kind clapback, kindback, is also perfect. I used to hate when people did it to me, always had to start running so I wouldn't make them wait. Yesterday I was in the parking lot and saw a guy holding the door for an older woman, and she shouted, "Honey, I'd run so you weren't waiting, but I'd pee my pants." I feel a definite kinship with that lady. The best reaction I had from someone to whom I held the door was at my university with two Japanese tourists. I'll never forget their huge smiles and bows after walking through the door. I used to hold that door open every day, but those two people are marked for life. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Be kind. Always Robin Williams. Being unkind makes me feel very guilty immediately, lol, even if they deserved it. I just feel kind of angry or upset after. Never better. Totally. Actually, yeah. I can be horrible. Like I have potential to make a person feel like absolute shit. But if I do, I hurt myself too. Don't know if that's selfish, but there we are. I genuinely don't get how you can just be mean or rude to people for no reason other than I don't have to be nice. Like, doesn't that weigh on you, make you feel bad? Sadly for some it doesn't make them feel bad. Not saying they don't have any responsibility, but for people like you and me, kindness is just a default mode. If you lack empathy it's much harder to be kind, and it takes effort, I guess. You never know who's suffering from what. And you never know how your kindness may impact someone's morale. My mother, she was the nicest person I've ever known. She was respectful, kind and nice to everyone, even the ones who were mean to her. She committed suicide in April of 2019, and it made me really question life at the time. I think of her and aspire to be that level of kindness. I guess it reminds me of her whenever I see I've made someone smile. I'm sorry, love. I lost my mum to suicide in 2017 and she was literally the light of everyone's day. All my friends adored her. She wasn't perfect but taught me to love others and stand up for people who couldn't speak for themselves. Anger. The world is often shitty and people are often selfish. So I'm relentlessly positive and friendly even when others abuse it. I'm not letting shitty people gaslight me into being like them. Fuck you world, be nice anyway, love that energy. Kill them with kindness. It's like armor in a way. If you refuse to be annoyed, the people that are shitty to you on purpose are also more annoyed when you just ignore it and continue to be pleasant. When they escalate it to get a rise out of you, they look like even more of a dick to everyone. Exactly. You being nice and refusing to let a bad attitude get you down gives them no power over you. Reminds me of that Eleanor Roosevelt quoted it, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." As a server for a couple years, I feel like my patience, and sometimes kindness, is slowly being chipped away. I'll be ready to start my day all peppy and positive, then you get shit all over and let down by some rude ass people and it just ruins it. I wish it didn't bother me so much. Just, why you gotta be so rude? Nah fam. Take no shit, stand your ground, but be relentless with each new interaction. New person? Yeah, the last 5 have been entitled wankers today, but this guy is getting my friendly side regardless. Don't crack, don't get ground down. You have deeper reserves than they have spite and meanness. Seeing other people happy is reward enough. Yes, once, a lady smiled at me from her car when she let me cross the road and it literally made my entire week. I hope I have the same effect on people. It may only be a smile but it can be so comforting in certain situations. Have a very nice day. Let me tell you a story. Some years ago I was working as a barista at a small coffee shop that only had one person there at a time. If the boredom didn't get to you, the isolation would a little. I was working a morning shift that day and I had gotten little sleep the night before, so it put me in a rather bad mood. Coffee can only substitute sleep so well. Now I had been serving customers their drinks that morning and I've always disliked the people that asked for really complicated elaborate things. A lady comes up asking for one such thing, and it was a situation where she wanted more of something that would result in less drink in her cup. According to my bosses, we were not supposed to humor those people and legit fill the cup near halfway as a result of the customer's request. This is actually kind of absurd, because anyone who works behind the counter knows there is enough product left over in the mixing cup to fill the guest's cup, but we are supposed to dump it. So I did as I was supposed to. Being in the mood I was and knowing it's what my bosses would have wanted, I thought, nah fuck this lady, and just filled her cup up halfway. When she received it and asked why it was half full, I told her that's what we're supposed to do. She responded pleasantly and thanked me for the drink, and handed over an origami elephant that she had been making while waiting for her drink. I think I had not felt so bad as I did in that moment in a long time. She was so nice to me when I had actually been rather mean-spirited towards her. I kept the origami elephant on my counter for the rest of the 2 years I worked there as a reminder to give my best to people, even if it's not much. Just remember to give that little bit extra. I have heard the saying before, you can choose to either be the light, or the mirror that reflects it, and I think that was one of those moments for me. I still have the elephant to this day, in a box of special little gifts I have received in my life. I think she'd call helping change someone's outlook like that worth half a coffee. This is such a sweet story. Thank you for sharing. Without a doubt I have had this happen to me before too. Sometimes something absolutely tiny comes along and becomes a part of your core, strengthening you many times over. Life is so strange. I'd rather put positive vibes out into the world. It feels good. It feels good and it's free. Once I realized that it's free being nice, I do it all the time. Exactly. It makes me a happier person to be kind. It feels bad when I'm not. The anxiety of having been shitty to someone far outweighs the feeling you get when someone doesn't return your kindness. Because I wanna get the true pacifist run on this mortal realm before I start going for the genocide route. Edit. Man, who knew rambling on about how you are going to end the universe one day will get you the Wholesome and Hugs awards? Also, how is this helpful? The reincarnation department of the afterlife is shaking in their boots. One day an old man saw a boy upon a beach. The boy was picking up sand dollars that had washed ashore and were dying in the hot sun. Handful by handful the boy took as many sand dollars as he could to return them to the safety of the ocean, but the beach was covered in hundreds of exposed sand dollars. Seeing this foolishness, the man called out to the boy, "Why do you do such a thing? There are hundreds of sand dollars on this beach, you can only help so many." Why are you wasting your time on something that doesn't matter to you?" To which the boy responded, "Perhaps you are right. Perhaps this act does not matter to me, but it matters to them. Kindness is a choice. You don't do it for praise or prize, you just do it because it's the right thing to do sometimes. It isn't a conscious choice, it is the way that I am. Even when I am at my worst, feeling really down, I put on a smile. Having had some bad times that I wouldn't wish on anyone else, I just do what little I can. Yesterday I complimented a woman on her bright pink hair and we had a short but sweet conversation about it. The golden rule: treat others how you want to be treated. However, once the line has been crossed, it becomes I will treat you the way you treat me. Though my tolerance is fairly high, you can despise someone, yet still be nice. I do this, it's mainly projection. I treat people the way I want to be treated. I try to be considerate and polite because I want others to be considerate and polite. I don't do it to change the world, it's just the way I think people should act. I can't say I'm kind every day, because I'm often not, but I have noticed that my own life is better if I'm kind to anchors, especially living in a small community like I do. Being kind takes the sting out of rudeness, usually on both sides. Being nice to an ass makes me feel good, and often makes them back down and apologize, or at least stop doing what they are doing. Sometimes just asking if they're okay can make them stop, although sometimes it leads to a life story. I have always regretted being mean. I've never regretted being kind. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more content like this. Also, make sure to like, comment and share the video. Peace out.